Good morning, everyone. I invite you to take a moment to enter into a space of rest, meditation, and quiet contemplation as we enter this service with the ringing of the gong and listening to the prelude.
Good morning. Welcome to Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church. Everyone is welcome here. Every person, you are welcome here. My name is Diane Lang. My pronouns are she and her. I want to welcome each of you here today. Let's turn to the person nearest and just give them a friendly smile. It is good to be together in this sacred space. Let us also wave to the people joining us virtually online. We're happy that you're all with us. Today is the kickoff of our 6-week annual stewardship campaign. Short testimonials are going to be shared on what this faith community means to us over the next weeks. The heart of our UU faith is that love is made visible through justice, courage, community. Generosity is a spiritual value that is central to our faith and to the well-being of our church. The theme of this year's campaign is Imagine. We can imagine how we can grow this community together. Imagine how we can make this a better world. I want you to ask yourself how giving is a gift to yourself. We give to share with each other, and we play it forward to the next generations. I wanted to give the example today of how our children make sack lunches. They get the gift of anticipating, this is the Sunday they're going to be making sack lunches. Then they get to actually make the lunches and take them over to our love pantry, and they get to feel good about that. And then the next week, while they're in school, they get to think back, that was really nice that we did this. So it's a gift to themselves multiple times over. Imagine that our church is like a bunch of gear parts on a finely oiled machine, right? And each gear helps to turn another gear. The gears of our, excuse me, the gears of our worship team, our music team, the sound team, ushers, various committees, our board of trustees, all of the administrative team, we're all gears that work together. After service today, you will be receiving a commitment envelope. I want you to look at the 5-year giving quartiles that are in that. There's a report in there. It's got some good information on the history of our giving over the last 5 years. As we imagine the future that we're going to be building together, we need to know that the amount and the number of households, that the number of households, it needs to increase. We need to be a growing congregation. I want you also to check out the Imagine board. It has pictures and quotes of our board of trustees and why they do the work they do in leadership positions for this church. Thanks to Carolyn Churchill, Dina Lieberman, and Sandy Pendle for the lovely board that was created. Some members of the church have already made a donation to get us going on this year's commitment campaign, and I'm pleased to announce, as of 2 days ago, we have $52,260 that's been committed. So thank you for all of you for that. In your packet, you will be getting a sheet that says, how full is your cup? This was developed by the UUA to be delivered to all of our churches as we're getting into the annual stewardship campaign. Nancy Gibson took that sheet and made this amazing display board that has more details as to how full is your cup. And wherever your cup is at, by being here, we hope that it feels fuller. Our stewardship team wants to stress that whatever you decide to give, we appreciate it. Whatever your level of giving, we appreciate it. This congregation is a precious community to treasure. Our generosity to each other and to the broader community helps to promote hope, joy, and a sustainable optimism. We cannot protect ourselves from all the evil forces, our losses, our pain, our suffering that goes with living. But together, we can share that path and share the pain and lighten the load. We can resist injustice, and we can practice gratitude for the enduring gifts that we have together. Thank you.
We begin our service with shared ritual by lighting our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Akko is our chalice lighter this morning. Our words are by the Reverend Jamie Yandel. We light this flame to ignite the sacred power of justice. We light this flame so that it may be a beacon of hope in moments of uncertainty, fear, anxiety, and the unknown. We light this flame and are emboldened by its blaze, knowing our strength as a prophetic and powerful people, knowing our strength as a prophetic and powerful people is rooted in the diverse ways we answer the call of love. A quick note about our first hymn, which we're going to sing shortly. As requested by the composer, we're going to sing hymn number 1014 with the lyrics, "Answering the Call of Love," in place of the lyrics, "Standing on the Side of Love." So please join us in singing hymn number 1014 in the teal hymnal, "Answering the Call of Love."
So if all the children and those young at heart can come on forward. Today's story is called The Hugging Tree by Jill Niemark. On a bleak and lonely rock by a vast and mighty sea grew a lonely little tree where no tree should ever be. How she got there, no one knew. She sprouted stems and little leaves as any tiny seed will do. There's hardly any dirt for me. No forest breeze, no birds, no bees, but I'll do the best I can to make this rock my home. Her tiny roots pushed night and day, and bit by bit the rock gave way. A smudge, an inch, a foot, then two. She grew and grew and grew and grew. The ocean hugged the rocky shore. I like you near me, little tree. Let's keep each other company. Soft gold sunbeams kissed her crown, warm as honey pouring down. At night she raised her branches high to greet the moon up in the sky. I wax and wane, I ebb and flow. I circle through from full to thin, and when I'm done, I start again. That's how life is, you know. One summer noon, a pair of loons landed on her canopy. A pretty tree, a sparkling sea. Shall we make this place our home and raise our baby chicks right here? The little tree warmed up with pride. She spread her branches high and wide. I'll be your home, she replied. And can you tell me if you've seen the forest where my family grew? We've built our nests in trees like you, quite far from here. And so you blew many nights and many days. You flew on wind, just like we do. They built their nest, they laid their eggs, and soon baby chicks were born. Summer passed, autumn too, and little tree turned red and gold. Then winter came with howling winds and cutting cold that broke her boughs. The loons flew south, the sea all ice, the rock all snow, the moon was lost in thunderclouds. Mighty cliff, hold me tight, don't let me blow away. Little tree, with all my might, I'll hold you close night and day. Storms will come and storms will go. At last the sun melted the snow, but now the tree could not grow. The storm had torn her roots. The moon gazed down and softly said, sometimes we lose our way, but with some help we start again. That's how life is, you know. And soon, a boy came running by, skipping stones into the sea. When he saw the little tree, he stopped and stared. He touched the tiny leaves. He felt the ragged roots. He shook his head and said, I can bring just what you need. I can help you, little tree. But a tree can't hug a boy. It has no arms or hands, but it can hug with you with its heart, and that is just as deep and warm. Every day, the boy came back, carrying a full backpack. From the pack, he took a tin and poured out rich brown earth. He packed the roots and tucked them in. He planted flowers around the tree and made a path for all to see. See the little boy laying on the tree? Now, every day, new people stop to rest beneath the little tree and dream the things we all dream of, to love, to share, to give, to dare, to grow just where we are. And to this very day they come. For on a splendid, shiny rock, by a warm and bright blue sea, a great big hugging tree grows just where it was meant to be. So how was the tree able to grow? Lila, the boy helped her grow, right? He was generous, gave him love, water and dirt, and all the things that that the tree needed to live, just like you all. Hey, time for the children's blessing. We are We are blessed. We are blessed by being. We are blessed by being here. We are blessed by being here together.
There are many ways we give to the life of our church, and the monetary offering is just one of these ways. Each month, we partner with a local organization and share the money we collect. Our partner for February is the Racine Interfaith Coalition Environmental Task Force Food Waste Composting Program, sponsored by Rick and the Racine Dominicans. The program began in 2024. The mission is to divert food waste from the landfill and turn it into healthy compost. There are currently 2 collection sites with the possibility of a third. The total amount of food waste collected and recycled through 2025 is 20,978 pounds. This is the equivalent of not driving 20,000 miles or planting 138 trees or not using 944 gallons of gasoline. The current cost per household is $30 annually. Funds raised from our collection will be used to help with promotion and education, allow for additional sites, and to keep the program sustainable. If you're joining us on YouTube, more information on how to donate can be found there on our website at www.obuuc.org. And at this time, the collection will be gratefully received as we listen to some beautiful music from Alejandro. Part of being in community is sharing our joys and sorrows with one another. We draw strength from celebrating the joys in each other's lives and lending support, comfort, and care when we experience one of life's many sorrows. We offer you two different ways to express the joys and sorrows that may be on your heart this morning, spoken and unspoken. If you would like to share a spoken joy or sorrow, I'll ask you to come forward to the microphone first, or you may raise your hand and a microphone will be brought to you. Once the spoken joys and sorrows are finished, you may come forward and light a candle to represent the unspoken joy or sorrow that is on your heart. Please remember that our service is being streamed online, so be sure that any spoken joy or sorrow you share is one you feel comfortable sharing with the wider community. Those that would like to share spoken joys or sorrows may come forward at this time.
I'm Gregory Mason. It's with great sadness to share that Fran Scott passed away this past Wednesday, February 11th. And I'm going to share something from the family. It is with immense sorrow we announce that our beautiful mother, beloved matriarch of the DeQuisto Sisters clan, has passed into the spirit world. We are heartbroken. We knew she couldn't remain with us forever, but 104 years hardly seem enough. She lived a long life filled with love and brought the art of l'abbraccio, an embrace or a hug, wherever she went. And if she couldn't embrace you, she would say, "Consider yourself kissed." All of us who knew her were kissed and embraced by her love, her grace, and her wisdom. She would want you to carry that feeling of being heard and that you are loved with you throughout your life. We are also grateful. Consider yourself kissed. We heard some of those themes in our opening hymn today, answering the call of love, with the word reflections of grace in every embrace. And of course, our message for all ages, the hugging tree. We hold the Scott and Scott Patak families in our hearts. There will be a visitation here on February 28th, and there will be a celebration of Fran's life on Sunday, March 1st. Details will be forthcoming.
Good morning, Mary Beth Selke. I had the privilege of going to the Love and Justice breakfast, and last Saturday I collected money from all of you, and with the total it was $298, and then Roseanne Mason added the extra $2 to make it an even amount. And so Kiara's small cake is here for you to enjoy. Her cookies went faster with someone else for $150, but our UU Church was well represented by the Racine Interfaith Coalition, and it was a wonderful breakfast and a good talk by Jonathan Shaler. So thank you all for participating, being members of the Racine Interfaith Coalition.
And if you would like to light a candle for an unspoken joy or sorrow, you may come forward at this time. And we light a final candle for the joys and sorrows that are on the hearts of our beloveds joining us online. There is a love holding us always. May we rest in that love. Amen and blessed be. All are invited to join us in singing There is a Love. The words are in your order of service.
Well, let me just adjust this here because this is a thing that I have to do on a regular basis. But I'm welcomed, so I appreciate that. How we doing this morning, everybody? Excellent. My name is Carl Fields. I introduce myself often as Carl from Racine when I'm everywhere else, to make sure that they understand that Racine is well represented. And I try to be a good steward to the message that's been going on here this morning. I appreciate being invited here to speak about all that is, as well as add to that message. That message for me is community. And I am pretty known for the work that I have done in the years past in advocating for and speaking up for and with vulnerable populations. I still do that work. I do that work at a statewide level now. But I take the way with which Racine does it with me everywhere I go. And so I appreciate you all continuing to do it in the way that we do it. So I have examples to point to and say, this is how we do the faith. This is how we do life in Racine. So I genuinely appreciate that. So in me coming today to talk about my values, to lift that up, I wanted to point out a couple things to you. I also wanted to speak to what it means to strongly and genuinely be in community in times like this, because we need it now more than ever. And we need for that to be known. I appreciate when it's spoken aloud, and I appreciate when each of us have the courage to do that out loud, because that's no easy feat. For some of you that know me, and it's also on Facebook, I'm beginning to take on a new role in the next couple months with Marquette University. I've been invited to become an adjunct instructor there in the fall. And thank you. And the main theme, of course, is community and justice. But one of the things that I'll be instructing on and making sure that this 4-credit course is a substantive one is talking about narrative, shame, and what it means to produce, promote, and to have public safety. That looks like a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But what I've always heard, regardless who's speaking it, is that it has community woven all through it. And community for me is a place that opens up doors, allows people in, and allows for them to be their genuine self and their whole self in that space. I feel like that is not always the case, and I feel like we can do better. Whether you believe exactly the way that I do, or it's a variation of that. or you're a person of principle and don't identify with the faith. There's a common ground and a common thread that brings us all together. And I'm always striving, always looking for that, always looking to talk to that within a person. And then there's another piece of a scenario that exists here in Racine that to know me is to know much about. And that is that I lost my mother here in Racine some time ago. And she was a person that taught me so much about community and so much about faith that I couldn't help but let for that to come through during my days as shelter director and advocating for people who slept on the very corners that I walked past on a daily basis. And when I saw people in need, I saw myself in need because I identified with that person as if they were me, as if they were family, as if they were in community. And so my definition of community looks like that. I share that often, and I hope that a lot of you can identify with such a version of that. For me, I also have to write my thoughts down because I can go all day. And so I definitely have my notes here with me, so I appreciate you bearing with me. I wanted to make it clear that community for my mom, as I said, was more than just a collection of people living and working together. It is where belonging happened or could happen. It was family, it was unity and shared interest, and a place to build on that interest. We are in a time right now that I believe is taking us back to basics. The building blocks of what it means to have a community and what it means to be in one. Some of us have never stopped building towards that goal or those goals because our beliefs and our experiences have continued to demand that. I often look for them, as I said, those people, those groups, those individuals who have decided to live their lives out loud, however subtle, visible, or colorful that may be. Belonging looks like that to me, seeing all those elements and choices and colors together. Not just existing, but living a truth that belongs to us all. That breath in your lungs means you're here and you have value, period. And that value has a right to be present. I speak of it in this way because I've been told many times over the years that I could be present, but my value could not be. That the only way I could be of value was if I found a way to prop up that which was always designated and already designated as valuable in that space. Which immediately led me to feel like I couldn't or wouldn't be in a shared space. That the space didn't belong to me, that it couldn't belong to me, and that even perhaps it shouldn't belong to somebody like me. I speak of that often because I identify often as a ex-knucklehead turned professional. As I said, I'm about to take on probably one of the most, largest professional opportunities so far. And it's a long way from where I've come. And I'm humbled by that. And I also acknowledge that because I would have never had such an opportunity had it not been for community and the people in community and us learning along the way with each other and me learning and offering and contributing to that. I appreciate that when we talk about shared space, the right to belong and the right to exist, that those aren't just ideals, those aren't just precepts, nor is that a political conversation. That is a conversation about what it means in real time to be able to live your life. And there are a lot of people in the community to this day and on this day who can't do that. I make it known in every pursuit that I have that I stand in solidarity with, quote unquote, those people, because I am also those people. I stand in advocacy of that ideal, and I stand in opposition to any message, comment, or ideal that flies in the face of that. One of the hardest things to do in life is to stand in some of those moments. And I try to share that experience as much as I can, and especially when it's hard. In my life, as I said, my mother being my guiding light, and she taught me a few key things. A few of those key things was she taught me about life. She taught me about God, of course. She taught me that she believed in God, she believed in community, and she believed in me. And what would I do with that? How would I share that? And how would I take that with me everywhere I go? Well, I'll tell you, I take it with me when I'm reading books to my little people who are now 2 and 8 months old. This is probably my second outfit change today, for reasons that I don't even need to say. Amen. So you understand that? I also didn't think anything of it because that's their experience, and that experience is my experience. And we'll talk about that later in life, that, you know, the little one spit up on my pants and the other one ripped my shirt trying to wrestle before I left. And, you know, and the dog helped him probably hide my shoe. So I had to go for something else. And so I speak to that because those little moments and those little things put joy in my life. And I have seen a lot of people express joy on TV, on the news, online, even in the midst of all that is happening in our country right now. And so I always speak to there being a very heavy and powerful thing for me that I want to share with you all today, and it's pretty simple. That humanity is found anywhere that human beings are. And that's it. And if that isn't the case, then it's because it's being stamped out, and you now have been activated and have a duty to speak up, speak out, to bring it forth and help it be seen. And so just want to let you all Racinians know that when I make my way to Milwaukee in the fall to, you know, try to shape and help shape some young minds, that I'll be bringing that with me. And I appreciate you all doing the work that you're doing, and I appreciate you all continue to invite me and people like me to be in community with you as you do so. And may the blessings be there for us all. Thank you.
All right, please join us in singing hymn number 1018, Come and Go With Me to That Land. Our closing words this morning are by the Reverend Maureen Cloran. No matter how weak or frightened we may feel, we each have gifts that can make a difference in the world. In this coming week, may you do at least one thing to support the broken, to welcome the stranger, to celebrate what is worthy, to do the work of justice and love. Be strong, be connected. Each day, act so that you may be a little more whole. We extinguish the flame in our chalice, but the fire and the light go on in you. This service has ended. Your service begins again. Peace and unrest.
Time for some announcements. Today is the deadline for paper raised right orders. If you need a form, see me. The Butterfly Project wants to let you know that the ICE check-in date for our family has been moved up to this week, Thursday, not February 26th. The family deeply appreciates all of your support. They have requested we not schedule a vigil outside of the ICE office, but instead light a candle for them, pray for them, and continue to work for justice. February 22 is the deadline to get news and events into the church office for the March Unifier for a planned March 2 delivery. March 15th, First Presbyterian will be having their Cuban sandwich luncheon in support of their sister church in Cuba. We have been invited to help support this mission. We will be having our own Cuban sandwich luncheon. It will be a multi-generational fellowship potluck following the service on March 15 downstairs in the dining room. We will need to order our sandwiches by March 1st. The suggested donation of $10 is due on March 15th, the day of the luncheon. Sign-up sheets to order your sandwiches and to donate food for the potluck are in Erman Hall. There are also some sheets over there if you weren't planning on going to coffee hour. Any questions can be directed to Ruth Bradford Johnson. If you need to reference the monthly unifier email, there is a link in each Sunday's email that will take you to it. Be sure to check your monthly and weekly emails for more information on some of these announcements, along with community events and other news that are not announced here in church. Thank you to our volunteers today, our ushers, Andrea Bumpers and Steve Hawk, our coffee hour hosts, Dina Lieberman, Joe Pooroy, and Patty Riemann, and Kira Room sent along some babka. And by the way, no one has signed up for coffee hour for next week, so if you feel so moved. Our Zoom host, Melissa Warner, our sound tech, Bill Garvey, and our cell phone monitor, Greta Monroe. That's all for announcements. Please join us for coffee hour in Erman Hall. If you're on YouTube, log into Zoom for your coffee hour. And Diane has something she wants to say yet.
Sorry. I just want to emphasize that some of our house party events begin this next week. So the sign-up sheets are in Erman Hall. Please come to these fun fellowship events. Thank you.